Word around town is you want to learn how to teleport. Teleporting is not an easy job. You must practice. You must work at it. You gotta learn how to do this thing. You don't just know how to teleport, you learn it. Do you want to learn how to teleport?
Welcome to my tutorial on teleporting. If you want to see the actual video, it's right over here. But I'm using a different video to teach you how to do the teleportation effect. It's still the same concept. So here we go. First, what you're going to want to do is you're going to open up your video. I have it saved in here. This is the teleporting video. This is the raw file.
My talent is you want to learn how to teleport.
So take this, you drag and drop that in the After Effects, and I will be back when After Effects fully loads. Here's a tip: when you're doing your teleportation effects, always keep the camera perfectly steady. If you have like a tripod or something, use a tripod. Don't ever let anyone hold the camera for you. Just make sure the camera is perfectly steady, and always get a nice clean plate in the background. Also, one more thing, just try to use as less filtering light as you can. I mean, lights are good for video, but when it comes down to the teleporting effect, you don't want to have different types of lighting and different lighting effects, because that's going to ruin the whole effect, because of the whole background change different colors than the actual footage itself, and it's just going to come out really bad. I learned from experience. After Effects is fully loaded now, and when you put in my type of videos, it always brings this up. So I go to straight unmatted and click OK. And just take this out of the way. So your teleportation videos right here, so you take that, drag and drop into a new comp. And what you're first going to want to do is you're going to want to duplicate the layer and turn off the top layer. So come down to the bottom layer and find your back plate. The plate that's perfectly still and aligns with you doing the teleportation. So about here, then you would go into layer, time, and freeze frame, and now that layer would stay like that the whole entire time. So then now you could turn back on the top layer and move forward until you get to the part where you teleport in. So it'll be about right here, and then you would Shift Command D to split that layer, and for PC users is Shift Control D. So you're gonna delete this middle layer because we don't need that, and you're gonna click on the top layer. What you're gonna do is you're gonna zoom in a little bit and go to where you are and zoom in on the timeline until you see the frames, and you're gonna move forward about 4 frames and Shift Command D again, or Shift Control D for PC users. And right here, this middle frame is the 4 frames that we just created. This is what we're gonna use to create the teleportation effect. So first, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the beginning of those, to that middle layer, and you're gonna click G to bring up your masking tool. And I usually click on the roto. You don't have to use it, doesn't make a difference much, but I like to use it. So you're gonna begin to mask out yourself. It doesn't have to be a perfect mask, as long as it got you in the, you got yourself in the mask. So from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the middle layer. You're gonna click M twice. You're gonna click the stopwatch on the mask expansion, and you're gonna bring down the expansion to about where you can't see yourself anymore. That's 108 for me, negative 108. Then you move forward 3 frames, and you're gonna send this back to 0. Now you see there's an issue here where I move out of the mask. So what you could do is you could just go back to the beginning of that, click mask path, the stopwatch, and then move forward 3 frames, and you're gonna move the mask over until it's over you again, and that's good. Now go to about the 2nd or 3rd frame, whichever one you're at, and you're gonna click the feather option, and I usually set my feathering to 20%. Here's a tip: when you're feathering, you want to make sure you have a good enough feather so the edge is not so hard, but the edge is not so big either. You understand? Because if you don't feather your teleportation, then it's gonna come out as like a just like you drew yourself in. You just kind of just got in there. It's ruined the whole effect. It looks fake, and people realize that. If you want to make it look realistic, remember to feather your teleportation. So now that we have it at 20, we could view this and let's see, go to fit, and this is what it looks like so far. It looks pretty good so far. So this is my other video, the one that I showed you earlier. Since I had a electricity effect, I gave myself a different variation to the teleportation. I came to effects and presets and typed in directional blur and drag and drop that preset onto the teleportation layer. And then I went into blur length and changed that to 100. So now it's blurred. It's like a direction blur. So when I teleport in, it looks like that. And since I had electricity power, I kind of went in here. I added a new layer, command wire, control Y for PC users, renamed it to Zap, and typed in advanced lightning, and drag and drop that onto the frame. And I used strike as the lightning type, because that's the lightning type that's about, like, you can move anywhere through the frame and it's not shooting off the frame. So come to the beginning of this, beginning of the teleportation effect, you can zoom into where you were. By the way, hold H to get that hand option so you can move around. And when you do that, you go to your Zap and you're gonna keyframe the origin and the direction. So come in here, click on advanced lighting so you can get back to the settings, and you're gonna drag this back into the, drag this down into the middle, and then come and hold forward the frame and follow the where your top and bottom is, well, what you can see so far, and just keep following through until you have until it's done. And then when you finish, go to the fourth frame, you click Shift Command D, Shift Control D for PC users, and delete this after the fourth frame, this top layer. You can delete that. Just zoom back out a little bit. And so far, you have a pretty good teleportation effect. But you have to go for Zap, go into the Zap layer, click Mode, Add, and then it kind of works with the layer. I would play around with the settings over here, the core settings. I would bring down the radius a little bit. And for the glow, since it's a little far back, we don't need that much of a glow. So we could bring down the radius. And you could turn down the opacity a little bit, not so much. And I would come into the opacity settings, press T on a layer, and I would bring it down just a little bit to about 70, and there's my effect. That's the teleportation effect. Thank you for watching my tutorial. I will be having more for every video I've done with special effects, so I can teach you how to do them and you can learn. So to see that video again that I did, it's right here. Just click on a link and make sure you subscribe to iDamions Productions and to iDamions. Thank you. See you another time.